Welcome, Mr. Handicapper. Before we take a look at race number 9 at Belmont on Saturday, next weekend at Belmont, it's the Belmont Stakes. I will be posting a full field analysis for that race. Also next weekend at Belmont, there's several Grade 1 races. I'm going to cover a bunch of those. And I'll post a full field analysis for those races. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, click on all notifications. Should be a really big weekend next weekend for horse racing. Let's take a look at race number 9 on Saturday at Belmont. It's the Grade 2 Pennine Ridge. It's 1.125 miles. It's on turf with a purse of $200,000. Let's take a look at the field. Look at the number 1 horse at 12-1. Chase last year broke its maiden Saratoga by a length and a quarter, 1.16 miles. Next time out, Chase finished 3rd in the Grade 2 Pilgrim, coming off a 8-month layoff now, getting 12-1 on the 1 horse, Chase. Then there's the 2 horse at 12-1, Chara. This is Chara's first start with Todd Pletcher. Chara won a couple races in Dubai on turf. Out of 3 turf races at Dubai, Chara has 2 wins and a second. Side by gunrunner Todd Pletcher has won this race 2 years in a row. You're getting 12-1 on the 2 horse Chara. I will use the 2 horse on my tickets. But there's a possibility that the 2 horse might scratch because he is cross-entered in another race. At 8-1, let's take a look at the 3 horse, Melanie, ridden by Jose Ortiz, trained by Chad Brown. Chad Brown has won this race twice. This horse won a couple races in France last year. Then he made his U.S. debut back in March at Gulfstream, where he finished 7th. Last time out at Aqueduct, won the Woodhaven Stakes by a length and a half. He's taking a step up in class. Out of 6 races, he has 3 wins and 2 seconds. Getting Chad Brown and Jose Ortiz, getting 8-1 on the 3 horse. 2-1, it's the 4 horse, Silver Knot, trained by Charlie Appleby, owned by Godolphin. 2 races back, Silver Knot finished 2nd by a nose in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. His 3-year-old debut at Newmarket. Maybe it was the soft turf that he didn't like. He finished very poorly in that race, finishing 11, 17 lengths behind. Out of 6 races on turf, Silver Knot has 2 wins, 2nd, 3rd. William Buick will not be on board for this one. You're getting 2-1 on the 4 horse Silver Knot. It's Charlie Appleby. It's New York. His horses do well in New York. His horses do well all over, actually. I will use the 4 horse on my tickets. Take a look at the 5 horse, trained by Chad Brown, ridden by Flavian Pratt. At 10-1, it's Congruent. This is Congruent's first start with Chad Brown. His last win was back in October over Sloppy Track by 2.5. Got some nice workouts, but he hasn't done a whole lot on turf. Out of 3 races, all he has is 1/3. Getting 10-1 on the 5 horse Congruent, ridden by Flavian Pratt. Take a look at the 6 horse, 7-2, also trained by Chad Brown. It's Calig, ridden by Irad Ortiz. This horse is coming in off of back-to-back wins. Really, you've been seeing ascendant speed figures from Calig. Calig made his debut at Aqueduct. He finished poorly in his debut. Chad put him on turf. Finished second. Next time out, his 3-year-old debut, won by a nose. Then he won an allowance race by 3 3/4. Gate to wire at this racetrack. I think you're going to see him do the same thing in this race. He's the only speed in this race. There's no other speed here. He is the lone speed in this race by far. I think Irad's going to go to the lead with him. Tell everybody else to catch him. Getting Irad Ortiz and Chad Brown at 7-2. I will use the 6-horse Calig on my tickets. 12-1 is the 7-horse, a closer, Freedom Trail. Freedom Trail won his maiden debut at Aqueduct. Next time out, won a stakes race. Looked pretty good as a 2-year-old. He tried him in the Kentucky Jockey Club on dirt. He wanted nothing to do with that race. Finishing 8th. His 3-year-old debut, finished 4th. And last time out, grade 3 at Keeneland, finished 7th in that race. He hasn't quite found his 2-year-old form again. Getting 12-1 on the 7-horse Freedom Trail. And to close out the field is the 8-horse at 9-5, trained by Todd Pletcher. Bridge, written by Joel Rosario. You gotta like his form. He won his maiden mile and 16 on turf. Next time out, he won an allowance race at the same distance, winning by 3.5. Stepped up his speed figures a little bit. In American turf, finished 2nd, only losing by a nose. Getting 9-5 on the 8-horse Bridge. He is your morning line favorite. He is a closer, though. He's a closer in a race where there's very little speed. I'll use the 8-horse on my ticket. So these are the horses that I'm using. I'm using Bridge. I'm using Silver Knot. I'm using Calig. I'm going to use Chara underneath. There's a possibility that horse may scratch. I do not want a Bridge Silver Knot exactly, but that's not going to pay anything. The horse I'm going to pick to win this race, I'm going with the lone speed with Irad Ortiz aboard. I'm going with Calig at 7-2. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Let me know who you're picking in the grade 2 Pennine Ridge at Belmont. Good luck.